Good morning. It's nice to see so many familiar faces and nice to meet all of you for the first time. My name is Stacey Melitowski. I'm the founder of Safeworker, which is a division of workplace safety and healthcare services here in Lethbridge. We were part of the 2010 initiative, and we developed safety management systems for many of the members for CHBA and helped them achieve their core or their C-core. We partnered with the CHBA again for the 2013 initiative, which this year is Safety Excellence. So the 2010 initiative was all about getting started, getting rolling, getting a program up and running. This year it's about taking it to the next level. How we're going to do that is by introducing to you a technology that will virtually eliminate paper from your safety management system and from your business in general. So our initiative this year is no more paper in 2013. I remember in the early 90s when computers were becoming very popular. My dad bought us a 386. It was the fastest computer on the market at the time, and everybody was talking about the paperless office. How many people here are paperless right now? Just show of hands. How many people are producing more paper documents in their business than ever before? Absolutely. So just some quick facts about what it costs. To fill a 4-drawer filing cabinet costs around $25,000. So when you add up the square footage that it takes up, buying the cabinet, the labor to make the copies, the printing costs, the paper costs, and all of those incidentals, $25,000 to fill a 4-drawer filing cabinet. It costs $2,000 a year to maintain that same cabinet. To fill out one form in your organization costs at least $75 from the time it's filled out to the time it's been reviewed, filed, and sorted. And to replace a lost document costs at least $225. Many of you have taken my safety courses, and as a safety professional, we always preach that safety is an investment. Safety saves you money because it's cheaper than having an incident. But the fact is, safety still costs money because of the paper. This was an interesting fact we pulled up from a white paper, which is actually from 2003, so the number could be higher today. But the average company spends $7,500 per year per employee on paperwork. So here's our current paper-based safety program. You or your superintendents, your supervisors, or your safety coordinator are in the field with a clipboard. They then transport the documents back to the office. My desk used to look like that, and I'm sure many of yours do as well. Then from there, it goes to the copier. We make multiple copies, we fax, we email, we file. Then corrective actions get sent out in the form of another piece of paper to the field. Those corrective actions get completed, back on your desk, then you sign off, and then we file it into the abyss of the filing cabinet. And we end up with this. I guarantee you, if I walk into most of your offices, it looks something similar. And it feels like we are constantly fighting the paper pile. Then came the iPad and other mobile tablets and devices, and we thought it was the answer. But there's currently some issues with that, and it's that it's very difficult to run and manage your business from a mobile device. How much business management are you actually performing on your mobile device? And here's why. Trust me, when the iPad came out, I bought the first one, I bought the second one, I bought the third one, now I have the mini, and I have a stack and a collection of mobile devices, including Android tablets, etc. And I thought I was going to run my business from them, but what I ended up doing mostly was web browsing. So this is a study from Business Insider. 37.5% of activities on the iPad are web browsing. Email, Facebook, and Twitter is another 23.5%. Watching videos is 11.5%. Playing games, 10%. And then other apps, makes up the other 17%. And other apps could be anything. The trouble is, to effectively manage your business, it literally takes at least 20 separate applications to do everything that you need to do to run your business. None of these applications talk to each other, so we still have a disconnected program. So what I'm going to show you today is not an app, it's not software, but a platform. And it's a platform that can adapt to your business in real time and work exactly how you need it to work. One of the coolest things about this platform is it works on any mobile device. I don't care if you use Apple, Android, it even works on BlackBerry, for you fans that are sticking around for BlackBerry 10. So it doesn't matter. And the war is over. It works on PC and Mac. It doesn't matter. So here's the process that's going to change the way you do business. Our platform is executed from a mobile device. It hits our data processing center, which is accessible from the web, and then your information gets exported anywhere you want it to go. So any cloud-based system, any proprietary server, any internal server, we can even do Facebook, Twitter, and email notifications. When we export it, we can export your data in any format, including PDF, Word, Excel, and HTML. So if you have a back-end database, we can actually send the information to that back-end database to be automatically sorted and filed according to your internal management system that you may be using now. So as I said, this is your old process. The trouble with this process is now we have several copies of uncontrolled documents, and everybody's working from a different copy. Because as corrective actions are completed and signed off, we have all of these uncontrolled documents that are out there in the field or filed that don't have your signature. So which copy is the real copy? Here's your new process with Safeworker Mobile. You go from the field, fill out the form data goes to our processing cloud, and then the notifications and information gets distributed instantaneously to predestined destinations. They go to people in the field that require corrective action, and they go to you in the office so that you can see what's happening in real time. So I'm going to do some demonstrations for you. What's one of the most common safety forms used today in residential construction or other industries?
Hazard assessment.
Hazard assessment. Thanks, Mike. So let's take a look at a hazard assessment. One of the things that we've done is we have successfully incorporated a multitude of safety forms into this platform that are going to be instantaneously accessible by you if you're part of the pilot project. So I'm going to do a field level hazard assessment, which nobody likes doing. The first thing that we built into this form was a GPS stamp. So as your crew shows up to the job site and begins their hazard assessment, we timestamp it and we location stamp it. So you know that that form was filled out at that time, at that location. We can preload your sites, or you can just have a form field that you can free type into. I'm just going to say this is Canyon Park. You can load your employee database into it. So let's say we've got Ben Johnson is the employee conducting the hazard assessment. You'll notice that Ben's information has now been inserted into these other fields because we already have it in the back end. I'm going to explain how that works just in a bit here. How many people have used Siri? Just show of hands. Let me show you how it works. So I'm going to, let's say Hulk Hogan's our site supervisor. Nobody's going to mess with him. And we want to do our crew list. Mike, James, Grant, Nolan. Done. Now we're going to determine where our muster point is on the street by the company truck. Now what we can do is we can take a photo, or we can draw on a blank canvas, of our muster point. So I'm going to draw on a blank canvas. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw a little intersection here. Here's our work site on the corner. Here's our company vehicle. Here's where we're working. Here's our muster point. Here's north. Done. We're going to identify our first aiders. And we're going to answer some simple questions. So we've got drop downs. We have text fields. We have text boxes. This is a yes or no. So is the fire extinguisher readily available? Yes. Is the first aid kit available? Yes. Spill kit and eye wash? You bet. Because we're all safety conscious and we have these things available. Now, we can standardize for your industry the drop downs for your job tasks, your hazards, and your corrective actions. So we have some sample information here. Let's say we're going to be loading and packing material, and we're going to be framing and standing walls. Now we're going to take a photo of the work area. Smile. There we go. We're going to use it. Now, we can draw on this photo. There's Mike. So we can take a photo of our job site, or we can bring it in from our files, and we can draw on it and make any notes that we want. Is the work area clean? Is it identified? Now we've got some hazards. What are some hazards to framing and standing walls? Well, we've got housekeeping. And let's say today is adverse weather conditions because it's cold. What are our controls? Well, we're going to clean up the site before work begins. And we're going to review the FLHA. And if we don't have something on there that we need, we can just type in the other field. Then we go through our ergonomic hazards. So do we have any ergonomic hazards? Well, absolutely. Maybe we've got a lift that's too heavy or awkward. And our control is going to be use mechanical assistance. And we'll move on. Do we have any access and egress hazards? If we don't, we just move on. Do we have any overhead hazards? Again, we can pre-populate this and customize it however it works for your business. So it's okay, well, maybe we have some overhead power lines and we're going to inform the workers at the toolbox meeting. Is a lift study required? No, we're not doing a lift. Do we have any electrical hazards? No. So we're going to move on to our personal protective equipment required on this site, and we just select it. Hard hat, safety glasses, steel-toed boots, hearing protection, and work gloves. We can make any assessor notes. The weather's cold and wind is blowing. The workers are putting up hoarding to ensure that the area is warm. Done. Are we reviewed with the crew, or are we reviewing it with another contractor? If so, we'll put it in there. We're going to capture my signature as a supervisor, and we're going to forward this report to somebody maybe that requires it. So, who would like to volunteer their email? Who's got their email with them right now? Angie? Okay. So eo@chbalethbridge.com. Next, we've got an area here for the signature, which I'll show you in a bit. Here's where the magic happens. This report has now been formatted, filed, sorted, and distributed to everybody that needs to have it. And it's now in your server or in our cloud system, and it can be reviewed by management at this time. So how long does it take for your field hazard assessments to come to you from the field? A day? A week? A month? Well, I just got an email. There's my hazard assessment. So here it is. So we have some interesting information on here. I've told this form to tell me some information of when it was submitted, by whom, at what location. Notice my drawing is in there. We have all the information pertinent to the job or to the work that we're performing. We have our picture already in the report, and we see my signature. Now, one of the issues that we're going to have is management needs to sign off on this report. So what I've told this form to do is also to export to Dropbox. So I use a program called iAnnotate. So I'm going to open up my Dropbox, and I'm going to go into my apps folder, Piranha Forms, submissions, and I'm going to go into my field level hazard assessment. And it actually, if you notice, it says modified 1 minute ago. I'm going to pull that up. There it is. So now I'm going to open it in iAnnotate. By the way, you can go straight to iAnnotate and open it up in there, but I'm just showing you how it works with Dropbox. Okay, so management needs to sign off on this report. So I'm going to pull out my pen. I'm going to sign it. Done. I'm going to put a timestamp on it. Done. And I'm going to sync the changes. So now what we're working with is a single document that is now available to each and every person that needs it, and it has now been updated in real time in the cloud. So your signature and your timestamp are on this document. So I'm going to show you just a really cool, interesting feature real quick. I'm going to click on that and say, hey, where was my crew when they filled out this hazard assessment? Right here. You can also go into the backend system, which I'll show you, and track where your crews have been conducting hazard assessments and at which time. Let's fill out another form. How many people here have to develop a fall protection plan? All right, first aid reports. Everybody here do first aid reports? Okay, good. Let's do a first aid report. So we'll go to our incidents, and we'll do a first aid report. So again, who's our first aider? That can be a drop-down. Again, it populates the information. You'll notice that there's 6 pages in this form. Normally this would be 1 page on a piece of paper, but we've developed it so that it's classified under these different headings. So who's our worker? Again, pre-populated. Puts in his information, employment type, full-time, and let's say he's a carpenter. Injury contact, we've now standardized the language of how we categorize our incidents. So let's say he was struck by, and a description of the incident. Worker was struck by a 2x4 as another worker was walking by and hit him in the head. Which happens. There we go. What time did it happen? What date? So we can actually change the date and time through our wheel here. Let's say it happened a couple days ago. And let's say the time was around 10 o'clock. And we've got abrasion scrapes, we got a bruise, and it happened on his head. And now we can take a photo of the injury. So I'm just going to take a photo of Mike here again because he's a good sport. Sorry about your head injury, Mike. Okay, we're going to use that. Now we're going to describe what body area was affected. This is a preloaded image that I've loaded into my canvas. So now I can draw on this. I can say where the location of the treatment was. So let's say it was in the office. Treatment details, compression bandage, and let's say we're going to add something else, ice pack. Was the person referred to a medical center? Yes, by the supervisor. We're going to capture a signature of the first aider. I'm going to capture a signature of the affected worker. Could you sign that for me with your finger? Yeah. Thank you very much. Done. And we're going to forward this report to whoever we want. So next, there we have our signature line for review. And now the first aid has been submitted. So now it's been reported. And I don't mean recorded in a book and travel it around on a clipboard for the next 2 weeks. It's been reported. You already know about it, and you can already take corrective action. So what do we, how do we work it on the back end? Well, oh, there's my notification. We just had a field level hazard assessment and an incident first aid. I'm going to show you what happens on your PC now. Okay, so first off, I just got a notification, you didn't see it from my Dropbox, that we've got some recently changed files. My first aid report's already there, and so is my field level hazard assessment. So I can open up on my PC. There's the first aid report. There it is. There's Mike's smiling face. There's a location of his injury. There's a signature. Now, for those of you that don't have tablets, you can now annotate this with Adobe Acrobat. You can put a digital signature and a timestamp on it that it has been reviewed. Once you save it, again, it's a single document in the cloud that everybody has access to, and everyone will know that you have reviewed it. Now what we can do is we can actually access our data from our back-end center. So this is the web portal. For those of you that are in charge of making sure that you pass your C-Core or your core, one of the toughest challenges that safety professionals face and safety coordinators face is records and statistics. Now your records and statistics can be done on an automated level. So what we do is we design what reports we want and we schedule them to run, and the system will run those reports for you. So how many first aids did we have last month? We can tell that report to generate. It'll create any type of report you want, an Excel sheet, a PDF report, etc. And those reports can automatically be sent into your virtual folder so that they're just automatically done. Okay, so let's just take a quick look here. We want to check out some data submissions, so I'm just going to go to my data records. So there's the incident report that I just filled out, the first aid. Here's the field level hazard assessment. So again, I can go into this report and I can say, oh, well, where was this? There's the location where it occurred. If we want to run reports, we can run reports on almost anything. It's already built into the system. But let's say we want to know where our field level hazard assessments have been filled out. Well, we can fill out our filter here. Just say, okay, I want to find out where all our field level hazard assessments are. So I'm going to fill that out, and I'm going to filter that. Now we've just run a report on all our field level hazard assessments in the last 60 days, and now I can export this into a graph, an Excel sheet, or a PDF. I can also create a schedule. So this button here says, run this report, based on the filter that we've just just designed. So if you say run every month, it'll run that report every month, and it'll create a report that says how many first aids do we have. So now I want to see on a map where all our first aids were. So because we can put geostamp, and so we can see by user, by location, we've had first aid incidents in Lethbridge, Calgary, and Edmonton. We can click on those locations and find out who submitted them on what time, on what day. Then we can open up those reports and we can look at them in their entirety. So that's just a brief glimpse at how the back end works. When you have access to the system, you also have access to the ability to modify your forms on your own and build forms as well on the fly. So what happens when we modify a form? Let's say we hire somebody. Well, that drop-down menu that I showed you with the employee list, that's not built into the form necessarily. That comes from what's called a data source. A data source is a simple Excel sheet that's sitting on Dropbox or your server or any other cloud-based system that when you update it, every form in your organization that uses that drop-down changes. So now, instead of throwing out your old forms and reprinting all new ones, everybody gets the changes instantaneously as you make them. And this is what one of our happy customers had to say. Some of you may know Adam Schweitzer from Maverick Concrete. They are a leader in their industry and part of the home builders. Safeworker Mobile is the only way to manage health and safety. Stacy's team made it easy to get started and works better than expected. What an amazing system. What we used to do is when you signed up for a safety management program with us, we would give you 60 pounds worth of paper to get started. This pile of paper comes with a cost of $750. That's more than what this cost me. And this would not even last you a year, and then you would have to buy a filing cabinet, and you would have to file it, sort it, and continuously update it. So what we've done is normally what we would charge a company to get started is $3,500. That gets you your setup, so you're meeting with our engineers. We're customizing the forms tailored to your business. with your company-specific information, including employee lists, locations, vehicles, etc., so that everything is on a drop-down or a multi-select basis. And what we're doing is we're knocking $1,000 off for any companies that want to sign up for the pilot program. So the pilot program really is just you getting involved in helping us make the system better and us helping you make it work specifically for your business. And in the true spirit of the CHBA Lethbridge history and heritage, we've always been pioneers in this area, and this is just another example of us being the first region, industry, companies to implement a system like this. So you save $1,000. We have a 30-day customization period where you will meet with our engineers. We will perform the training for your employees, the training for you, and we will customize and tweak the system to work specifically for your industry. So how do you get involved? Well, number one, we'd like you to refer others to the program once you have some success with it. Provide us valuable feedback that allows us to make it work better for you and help us perfect it. So how you get started is really easy. Sign up for the pilot program. We have a website, our webpage, safeworker.ca/CHBA, which I'll put on the screen. You can sign up for the pilot there, or you can sign up here today and just say, let's get started. You register for your 30-day free trial through our website, and then you meet with our engineers and we start building it for you. Typical implementation time, Ben?
3 weeks.
3 weeks from start to finish in terms of having it 100% customized for your business. We can have you up and running in a couple days with our safety forms, and you can start using it right away. So safeworker.ca/CHBA is the website that we have set up for this pilot program. You can literally go there, register, and what will happen is that one of our engineers will call you, make an appointment, and we can get started on your program.